This video is supported by Africa No Filter. Have you ever wondered what running 42 kilometers barefoot feels like? It sounds quite difficult and almost impossible, but that's exactly what Abebe Bikila did in 1960, leading him to win the Rome Olympics with a gold medal. This is a story of a man who had sports in his genes, an extraordinary athlete that wouldn't be stopped by anything, not shoes that didn't fit or not even paralysis. This is the legacy of the Ethiopian marathon runner, Abebe Bikila. Let me take you back in time. On August 7, 1932, Abebe Bikila was born to Ethiopian parents in a small community called Jato in Ethiopia. Abebe had a rather solemn childhood because, following his parents' divorce, his mother remarried and they lived quietly on a farm. Perhaps Abebe was destined to be a long-distance runner because, as a young boy, he played long-distance hockey where the goalposts were kilometers apart, meaning he had to run all the way if he wanted to win. Moreover, the trajectory of his life soon changed completely when he joined his nation's military to serve in the Korean War in 1952. Around this time, he ran a distance of 20 kilometers every day. Oni Niskanen, a Swedish coach employed by the Ethiopian government to train the Imperial Guard, noticed him and began training him for the marathon. His coach trained him so well that in 1956, when Abebe competed in the Ethiopian Armed Forces Championship, he finished in second place. However, 4 years later, in 1960, Abebe participated in the Olympics that changed the history of African sports. Though many believe that Abebe's participation in the 1960 Olympics in Rome was by chance, British biographer Tim Judah explained Abebe's participation was a long-term planned operation. This makes so much sense because this is the event that his coach was training him for. Moreover, he had won his first marathon in July of 1960, which was just a month before his Olympic win. Subsequently, his coach enrolled him and another marathon runner called Abebe Wagira. This race was very unusual because it started late in the afternoon and finished at night, but that didn't stop Abebe Bikila from making his mark. Before the race, he bought brand new running shoes in Rome. They didn't fit well and they gave him blisters, so he decided to do what many would not consider: run barefoot. So there he was, an unknown athlete, standing barefoot behind a bunch of well-known athletes. The starting gun sounded and the race began. During the race, Abebe was still at the rear of the lead pack. However, 25 kilometers into the race, he started to move away from the rest of the pack. Abebe sprinted to the finish line with a record time of 2 hours, 15 minutes and 16 seconds, which was faster than the world record by 0.8 of a second. Just like that, while barefoot, Abebe became the first African to win an Olympic gold medal, paving the way for other African marathon runners. Afterwards, in 1961, Abebe competed in the Athens Classical Marathon and won while running barefoot. Even though this was his last event while running barefoot, it wasn't the last time winning because he finished first place in every other race that he competed in, except the 1963 Boston Marathon where he finished in 5th place. Despite the setback in 1963, Abebe made a huge comeback in the 1964 Olympics, wearing Puma shoes. Once again, he finished in first place with a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes and 11 seconds, making him the first runner to successfully defend the Olympic title. From this point forward, Abebe became an undisputed marathon runner, winning every race and looking good while doing it, until 1967 when things took an unexpected turn. In July of 1967, Abebe Bikila developed a hamstring injury, which led him to drop out of competition that year. However, in 1968, he traveled to Germany for treatment of a circulatory ailment in his legs, and was able to return in time to join the Ethiopian Olympic team training in Asmara. In a bid to win his 3rd consecutive gold medal, Abebe entered the Olympics of that year. Unfortunately, a week before the event, doctors discovered a fracture in his fibula and advised him to stay off his feet until the day of the event. Naturally, this didn't help out much because Abebe had to drop out during the race, making the 1966 Incheon Seoul Marathon the last marathon that he ever competed in. One would have thought that this was the worst that would happen to him until the night of March 22, 1969. Abebe lost control of his Volkswagen Beetle and it overturned, trapping him inside. This accident caused him injuries from which he would never recover. The damage from the accident was so severe that they couldn't get him out of the car until the following morning, before rushing him to a hospital. In a stroke of bad luck, the accident left him paralyzed from the neck down, and he was never able to use his golden legs again. As time went on, his condition improved and Abebe was able to use his arms again. and just like that, he began training for wheelchair athlete archery competitions. On October 25th of 1973, at the age of 41, Abebe Bikila died of a cerebral hemorrhage, a complication that he had developed from his accident 4 years earlier. Although the circumstances surrounding his death are quite sad and painful, he remains a national hero who began and largely inspired an African prominence in the long-distance running. Since his death, the country has built various monuments in his honor. The Abebe Bikila Stadium in Ethiopia was named after him. In late 1972, the American Community School of Addis Ababa also dedicated its gymnasium, which included facilities for disabled people. Additionally, in March 21st of 2010, the Rome Marathon observed the 50th anniversary of his Olympic victory. The winner of the race happened to be an Ethiopian runner called Suraj Gena. He ended up running the last 300 meters of the race barefoot in honor of the national hero Abebe Bikila. This further proves that even though Abebe is no more, his legacy will continue to live on, and his name is not one that will be forgotten anytime soon.